Hi folks, in this week's Tech Tip we're going to take a look at some digital tools that will help you or potentially your students make referencing a much simpler and quicker process. Now the first one of these tools is built into Google Docs, so probably the easiest and most fluid one to use if you're using a Google Doc to write your piece of work. And the second one is MyBib, which is almost as fluid but not built into Google Docs, but quite useful if you need to use a specific referencing style that's not available within Google Docs. For example, Harvard referencing, which is common in the UK. So first of all, let's just have a look at Google Docs. To add citations within your text and your references at the end, pretty much automatically, if you go to Tools, go down to Citations, you'll open the sidebar here, which first asks you to identify the referencing method you want to use. Now, as you say, Harvard isn't here, which is generally most commonly used in the UK, but APA is very similar to it. So we'll just go through this process here. Now, if we go to Add Citation Source, we have a range of options. So we can select, for example, a book section, website, journal article, so on and so forth. So there's a whole range of different options for the types of sources that we can use, as you would expect. And we can also select how it has been accessed. So in this case, we would maybe say that it was a book that we had a hard copy in print that we were using, so we would select that option. Now, the really handy thing is here you can simply use the ISBN number from your book and it will automatically fill in all of the details for you. So if I went to the Waterstones website for this book here that I wanted to cite and copy it and just paste that into here, search, it will find the information necessary for that book. So I simply hit continue. I then have options where I can add any other information that I want, like an edition or volume, if necessary. But otherwise, we just hit add citation source, and then it's now added to our list of sources. Likewise, if you wanted to do it for a website, we can add another citation source, just select the appropriate options from the drop-down. And so, for example, let's say we were looking at this website here, just copy the URL from the website, drop it into there, search, and continue. Now, it will highlight where there is missing information, like in this case, the contributors are not listed on the web page, so it doesn't come up. You may find that you're looking at a web page which does have obvious contributors listed, so you could edit that and add it. But if we're happy with the information, we simply add citation, and you'll see that's now added to our list of references. Now, it makes sense to do this at the start, or at least as you start using each of the sources that you're going to use within your writing, rather than doing it all at the end, because while you're working through your piece of work, if you wanted to add a citation to a specific piece of text, you can select it, or at least just place your cursor where you want the citation to go. And then over here, you simply hit the Cite button, and it will drop in a citation in line with your text for you automatically. We'll just try that down here for the book. So if we wanted to put the book, we want the citation in there, you'll see that that's dropped in, and it's suggested that we replace the hash with the page number. So you'd drop in your page number that you'd referred to in the publication. Other handy thing is at the end, if you just place your cursor here, we can hit Insert References. It's actually just near the end of the page, so we'll move that down. And it just drops in all of the references from our citations list here, or from our sources list, in the chosen referencing method. So really quick and easy to use, could potentially save you a lot of time. Now, if you needed to use Harvard referencing, which is not currently supported here, but I suspect will be pretty soon, there's an alternative which is not built in, but very easy to use. I'll just very quickly introduce you to it. So if we get a ISBN number for our book here, we use mybib.com, and you can from here choose whichever one of the styles of referencing you want from the top here, choose what type of source it is. You'll see you've got a whole extensive range of options. So in our case, we want to reference a book. It's like before, we paste that in, it will search and find some options. We can choose which one we want, and then we can edit it and save it to our project. So you can actually create a project. So you'll see here that I've got a couple of references that I've added. And it gives you all these prompts that kind of tell you what to do the first time you use it. It's quite simple. So we create a reference list. So although this reference list isn't in the actual doc, and it's not as easy to just drop a citation into the text in line, it does mean that we can create our citations or our references in here, and then we can just download the reference list at the end, and we could paste it in or copy and paste it into our document at the end. So potentially still a time saver, even if it's not quite as good as the built-in tool in Docs. Hopefully you found that useful. Catch you next time.